I never played an Animal Crossing game before New Horizons. What's funny to me is I've seen a lot of people hate the one feature that got me into the game. I love that you share an island with other people who play on the same Switch. I completely understand why this feature could be frustrating. Like, for some reason, I got way less recipes since I'm not the main player. I mean, come on, Tom Nook. We even got a second Switch, and I started the game over so I could continue to play on the same island as my wife. Although sometimes I'm not sure if she's as happy about that. I've always liked the idea of more open ended games like Animal Crossing or Minecraft. To me, they've always been a great example that people wouldn't actually be lazy without constantly being offered incentives. Like, Minecraft is the best selling video game of all time. And not only is it open ended, it has little of the traditional rewards to try to drive you to continue playing. The reward is basically the act of playing itself. People build absolutely amazing things in Minecraft just because. I mean, look at these. But talking about how rewards lower intrinsic motivation is a subject for another time. Other than occasionally playing Minecraft with my kids, I've just never really gotten into any of these types of games. The thought of starting a game that doesn't have a clear end while I still have a giant backlog of games just never felt right. So I am genuinely surprised that I'm still playing Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing, unlike Minecraft, does have some mechanics that incentivize you to check in every day, and there are definitely other little goals, but they're not as challenging and not really meant to be. You're not going to be punished or threatened in any way for not doing something. The worst that will happen is a wasp sting or one of these arachnids jump at you, but this is in Australia, so they're basically a minor inconvenience. Tom Nook isn't going to come take your house if you decide to never pay your loan. If anything, he just bails you out and you can pay it back when you want. You get to basically be a big corporation in the United States. So, what's the point of Animal Crossing? Why play this game? Besides just, it's fun. Because some games aren't fun, and I still want to play those. And even if it's because fun, why is it fun? This is obviously going to be different for everyone, as there's a lot you can do in Animal Crossing. There are many ways to use your creativity between decorating, creating designs, or even just reshaping your island. You've probably already seen some of the memes. But honestly, I haven't really gotten into any of that. For me, it's the lack of challenge. I don't want another thing I can try to master. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy finding out or looking up little tricks. There can be a simple pleasure in being more efficient just for the sake of it. But it's so refreshing not having psychological hooks that are pulling me every which way. Nothing driving me to feel like I must be better, more productive. There is always more I can do, yet nothing saying I'm doing too little. In real life, there is no resource meter or energy gauge to let me know I've done everything I could. If you don't have a disability, you've probably never given much thought to how much energy it will cost you to do everyday things like get dressed. For many of us who are disabled, this isn't the case. We are used to planning how we're going to use our energy to get through the day. Now, I would probably have to do an entire video just to explain this in proper detail, but here's some quick examples of what I mean. This will be different for everyone, so I'm just going to give examples that I personally experience. I'm autistic and have many sensory sensitivities. So for me, if there's a lot of yelling or even just fluorescent lighting, it will drain energy. If I am struggling with depression, I just start the day with less. If any of my various sources of pain are acting up, almost anything I do will cost more energy than usual. On top of all this, it takes energy just to plan how I'm going to use my energy. And if my routine is broken or there's a lot of unexpected events, I lose some more. This can create a kind of downward spiral effect because if the routine gets broken, I have to reassess and plan again, costing more energy. If I don't have enough energy to do whatever it is I need, I'm faced with a difficult choice. Do I just not do the thing and try to survive the rest of the day, or do I risk overspending my energy? If I overexert myself, it's kind of like taking out a loan. I will pay a steep interest, much like in Stardew Valley. This is almost never worth it, and it can take many days or even weeks to recover from. But again, I don't have an energy meter to look at. So there is a constant battle of am I being too lazy or do I need to rest? If you're disabled, you're probably thinking, oh, the spoon theory. It's often used as a metaphor, and if you want to learn more about this, I definitely recommend looking into it. In Animal Crossing, if I want to do something, I just do it. It's so incredibly freeing. I cannot overstate enough how much I plan every little thing I do in real life. Just going to the kitchen for a cup of coffee, I will plan the steps I will take. Which hand will do what, in what order, everything must be done to be as efficient as possible because any unnecessary movement is just energy wasted.
I'm not sure what the big deal is. A lot of games are power fantasies we escape to. How is this any different?
Oh, hey, Strawman, wasn't expecting you. That's true. Many games make us feel we can do incredible things, but in Animal Crossing, nothing makes me feel like I'm not doing enough.
What do you mean?
Well, in a culture that tells us to always be competitive and productive, it's kind of a relief. On days when I'm unable to keep up, it's hard not to think, what's wrong with me? I wonder how many others ask themselves the same thing. And would we feel this way if we lived in a society that wasn't under capitalism?
Ugh, I already have to hear this from Leslie. I don't understand how you can blame capitalism. Maybe you're just not happy.
I can't know for certain, but I have figured out a lot of ways to manage my routines, and while I may have some difficult days, I love who I am.
Oh, there you are, Strawman.
Yeah, I needed a break from all the whining about capitalism, but I guess I came to the wrong place.
Hope Strawman hasn't been too much trouble.
It's okay. Happy to see you, Leslie.
Hey, Willow. How are you?
Good. I was just talking about how capitalism can make me feel like I'm not good enough some days.
I know exactly what you mean. I've talked about that on my channel a lot, especially in my capitalism and disability video.
I love that video. If any of you are interested, I definitely recommend checking it out. I'll leave a link down in the description.
Alright, let's get going, Strawman, so Willow can finish his video.
There wouldn't even be a YouTube to make videos for without capitalism.
What was I talking about again? Oh, right. Not feeling good enough, with the pressures to always be productive. Before going on, I want to make it clear I am extremely fortunate. I have a job that supports our family of 5 with flexible hours that lets me work from home. That privilege includes access to healthcare, which has made it possible for me to go to a therapist when I've needed. I was also lucky in finding a good therapist. It's been a few years since I've had therapy, but it had a huge impact. One session, I was venting about how I couldn't do something right. And they asked me, what do you feel you are good enough at? I was so confused by this question. Good enough? What does that even mean? I could bring up things people often complimented me on, like I'd often hear I was a good dad. But whenever I'd hear that, I'd just think that's because people have such low expectations for fathers, or they're just trying to be nice. Any compliment I received, I could always think of a reason to dismiss it. I would just picture this huge list of things I still wasn't doing, so I couldn't be good enough, right? I spent a whole week trying to think of an answer for that question and came up with nothing. It was really eye opening to realize I couldn't think of a single thing. Because keep in mind, this wasn't what are you great at or even good at, just good enough. Thankfully, my therapist showed me compassion. They reminded me of all I had been through and continued to struggle with, challenges that would make life difficult for anyone. That the standards I had been using to criticize myself weren't fair and not helpful to me. They pointed out I had been putting in the effort. The fact that I had such a huge list of things I wanted to improve was proof of that. It showed that I cared, and that was all I could really do. That didn't mean I couldn't learn and improve, but I didn't need to beat myself up to do that. I deserved compassion just like everyone else. And when I was able to start really accepting this, it actually became easier to improve. If I had a meltdown or made a mistake, instead of thinking I was a monster, I'd try to go relax and show myself some compassion. This actually made it easier to apologize and own up to things. Life just generally started going better for me. Okay, this isn't fully true. Like, some really awful stuff happened around then, but being free from this anxiety really helped me survive that still. I'm so grateful to be free from that constant anxiety. When something goes wrong, I'm generally able to accept it and trust that things will be okay. But every now and then, those worries
Wow.
creep in. You really didn't get much work done today. Gnawing at the back of my
You
mind.
haven't
Played with the kids enough. I just need to relax some. But that's time you could be getting something
I am
done.
taking
Too long to get my next
Think of the
video done.
opportunity
How are you going
cost.
to do all
Not
of
even
this? relaxing as
How?
it is. You even suck at relaxing.
Ah, enough.
Thankfully, I can usually see this for what it is now, which keeps me from a complete downward spiral. I call it a capitalism mental health day because it's caused by these systems around us. And I think most of that stems from not having any safety nets. If you think about it, we live under constant threat of losing even our basic necessities if we don't have enough money. So it's hard not to worry about getting fired if I can't keep up. And like I said, I've been incredibly fortunate. Many can't find enough work or are overworked but aren't being paid a living wage. Many can't work at all. This is true for many of us who are disabled. And even if you have a decent job now, it doesn't take much for your situation to quickly change. One accident, and you could be no longer able to perform your job, and possibly facing tremendous medical debt. This causes a constant fear of needing to accumulate more in hopes of surviving an occasional emergency. But you're never going to have enough to be completely safe, ever, which means your circumstances can never be good enough. And this isn't just related to money either. Everything in our lives has been turned into value to extract, like our time and attention. So we don't just feel pressure about what we do to earn money or how we spend it. Every second becomes something we have used inefficiently. But everyone has different needs and limitations. We should be given room to explore those and find what works for us. In Animal Crossing, I get to experience this in a small way. I don't really have any interest in all the responsibilities that come with the island, and would find that exhausting, much like so many things for me in real life. But I still get to be a part of the island, and I contribute what I can, without any sense of guilt or threat. A world where you are free to live the life you want. I hope one day we can live more like that in the real world. I could spend more time with my kids, or doing things I excel at helping others. And maybe I could get help with the things that are difficult for me to accomplish in a day. A world where more of us can feel good enough. They're in your basement, aren't they? Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been struggling with this a lot lately, so it was good to get this out. Let me know if you can relate and how you are holding up with how this year is going so far. If this video was good enough, maybe give it a like and consider subscribing for more. And don't forget to check out Leslie's video on capitalism and disability. It's really good. Links will be in the description down below.